Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another quick tutorial. I hope that it will be quick. We're going to be just making one item in today's video. I'm going to change things up a little bit to try to keep my videos a little bit shorter. So generally when I do a tutorial, I do a video, I'm making 3 of something at least, sometimes 4, because I have 1 for my reference journal and then 3 for a journal, because I usually do 3 signatures. I'm going to be changing that up and being a little bit more flexible. And so I'm going to for sure be making 1 off camera and then 1 on camera. So today we're going to be making a, I can't remember what these are called. Accordion? Yeah, accordion things. So this is what I wanted to do. So I actually was wanting to use a junk mail envelope to make this project. Because I have some beautiful coffee dyed envelopes that I coffee dyed. They were in that Advent box from Sharon Dunk, but it's so much work to try to cut out that window that I decided I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself. So there's no die required. The only reason why I have a die out here is I just used it to trace my shape. That's all I did, and then I cut around it with my craft knife. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you're going to follow this exactly, you'll need 4 pieces in entirety. So that's probably going to be 3 digitals, I'm thinking, depending on the size that you make yours. Now let's talk about dimensions here really quick. This measures 8 inches in one direction, depending on, this would typically be your height. And then it is 4.5 inches wide. Now I realized when I finished this one that my window's going the wrong way, because it should be, this is the image direction, but I can't put it in a journal like this because it's too wide. So so in the one we're going to be making, we're going to be watching that so that I get the image on the front going the right direction. So it's basically the cover and then 3 other pockets. So I thought these would be fun to put on the, in the inside cover, front or back of a journal, because I always have, again, ephemera that I have extra. So I thought we would do that. But this one's going to have a really beautiful journal card in it. I did not get a chance to make that yet, but I'll finish this one off camera, but we'll do this one entirely together. So I'm hoping that it won't be too long. So I've got some score tape. That's what I'm going to use to put my acetate on. And I just brought out the leftovers of that 12 by 12 acetate that I used in a previous video. And this is too big. We'll cut it down, but I have got it ready. And I've got my craft knife. And again, the die, just to use it as the shape. Now, obviously, you could just use your die cut machine and run this through, and then you don't even have to do what I'm doing. But I know not everybody has dies and not everybody has a die cut machine, but a craft knife is something that's easy to obtain for most people. I've got my Barely Arts, that's what we're going to be using today, no Fabri-Tac, and my ink. And then I also have my metal ruler, which is what I like to use to guide my cut. And then I also have my zero gravity ruler, and I'll show you where we're going to use that when we get there. So let me just move my mouse again. I say that in every video, don't I? In every video. Because I have to touch it to make the video start, right? So that's what we've got going on. So we are going to be using these beautiful background papers from those kits that I recently bought. I bought one that was a pink themed, grungy pink, and the other one was a grungy gray. So I've got 3 pieces of this, which will be for the pocket parts, and then this is going to be for our front cover. So similar to what I just showed you. Where did it go? So this piece will be this piece, but in this case it needs to go this way, which is going to be fine. I don't know what I was thinking when I did the other one. Okay, so I've already printed on the, I didn't print on the back of this one. I'm going to have to run this into my printer and print on the back of it because I don't want that to be white. So I'll take a moment and do that. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot, but these ones already have the coffee dye or tea stain paper on the back. So pardon me while I do that really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you for letting me do that. I thought I had caught them all, but I didn't. So that is okay. So we're going to start with the hard part, which is always the part of your project that has the most things you need to do. But look at how these go together. Not even the same kit, but look at them. Oh, it's so perfect. So we're going to start with this, and obviously this is going to be folded, so we're only going to get a portion of the top here. But I want to get, oh, we need to probably trim that up. My apologies. Let me grab my trimmer. I'm just going to trim off those extra edges here. This is my first video that I'm doing when I'm feeling 100% back to myself, other than I still have some discomfort from the fall, but it is Friday the 28th of February, and today is a good day. My husband and I just got over the flu, and we just decided to go into town and have a Wendy's hamburger. It's the first fast food I've had since November, so it tasted so good, and my tummy's fine, his tummy's fine, so I celebrate good food sometimes, and it was a nice treat. So let's talk again about dimensions again. If I remember correctly, this was 4.5 inches in this direction. So 4.5 inches wide in this case. So we're going to just find, I'm going to turn this way, and I'm going to find the 4.5 mark because I want to retain this pink part of it because I want that to be part of my the front of this. So I'm going to just line that up on that 8-inch mark, grab my pencil, and I'm going to go to 12.5 in this case. I'm just doing this so that I have a line to fold on. So I'm going to grab my score tool. Okay. Just like that. We'll need that again in a second. So see how we get those beautiful trees up there? That seemed like more than 4.5, was it? Nope, it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay. Perfect. And then we're just going to cut off the excess. So I'm actually going to mark this because sometimes when I use this cutter, it's not very precise. So I'm just going to make a mark so that I can make sure that that is going to be done well. You want your edges to be as straight as possible because all of those tops have to line up for your accordion pocket. So there is that. Okay. I'm just going to get my bone folder here. Oh, we got to look at the width too, don't we? So it is 8.25. It's just slightly smaller than 8.25. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. Probably because when I had to, I don't know if you noticed when I flipped that over with that tea stain paper, when I fed it into my printer, since I'd already cut off the white borders, it fed in a little bit wobbly into the printer. So that's okay. We'll just have to use this as a template for our pockets. So we're going to go ahead and, I can keep this folded for now. When we start cutting, we don't want to do that. I am going to continue and use this, okay? This one's going to be much easier than my prototype because this paper is so much lighter. So I'm debating. I think I want to have this kind of be in the center in this one. So I'm going to line this up on my grid, again, as best I can. That looks to be about center. And then center for this would be about right there. Okay, I don't want it down that low, so I'm just going to scooch it up about right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my pencil and go around. Now I like to go past, oh crud, pencil broke, past the corner because I have trouble seeing that when I'm cutting because I'm not a professional with the knife. As I mentioned, it's not really my favorite thing, but I'm trying to learn to use it because it's pretty handy. You can do so many more things when you're willing to use a craft knife. Okay. And it is after work, so now granted I only work 2 days this week, just Thursday and Friday, so I have nothing to complain about. Okay, so let's just, and I can erase any erroneous lines. Okay, so there is our rectangle. I'm just going to check and make sure that everything looks pretty straight. Yeah, that looks good enough for the human eye. Yeah. Okay, so now make sure you open this back up if you're following my process here. I've got my metal ruler and my craft knife, and we're just going to start cutting. So I like to cut on the outside of my pencil line, so I'm going to do that. Just go barely on this side of the line, okay? And again, I'm not a professional here, so I am very, very cautious. And I feel like I think I only on my other one I only had to do it once. It's only 32-pound paper, which I apologize, I forgot to mention. I didn't want to use a super heavyweight paper like a 65-pound paper because that would create so much bulk, and if you want to add a bunch of ephemera in it, then you're just adding bulk upon bulk. Okay, and I like to keep my ruler on this side of the line, so I'll flip this all over so I can do that bottom section here in a moment. And I do apologize that I have to put it at an angle because, you know, we have our comfort ways of doing things. So do what makes you successful. And then, yep, then this way. I'm going to barely touch, I'm just going to touch that line though, because I don't think I cut this corner far enough, so I can feel it. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can pop that baby out. Pop it out, pop out. Beautiful. And that can be saved for something. So there is our window. Oh, I love it. Okay. So what we're going to do now before we move on to the pockets, we're going to go ahead and just take care of the acetate and all of that. But I'm going to go ahead and ink around all of these edges, including the window and including these two edges, because I don't want those to be, I want them to be inked. So give me a moment. So I am going to make another one off camera for the reference journal. So I think I'll use just some random papers. And on that one, I might round the corners and see how I like that. And yeah, got a little bit of too far of a cut there, but it'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going to put our acetate in. So where's the piece I cut? There's the piece I cut right there. Again, it's too big, so we can cut that down. So I'm going to just go like this and just cut that. I'm going to try to get it straight if I can. I also am not a fan of double-sided tape, but I'm going to do it in this case. So that's about right. So I've got this really thin one. That's probably, what is it? I guess it's a 1/4 inch. It looks smaller than that, but so I'm going to go ahead and apply 4 pieces of this tape around this window. Okay, I just like to give it a little bit of a burnish. I don't know why I dislike it. I guess I don't like it if you've got to be really precise, because you don't really get a second chance to stick it. I used to watch a lady, her name was Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus. I don't think she's doing anything on her channel lately, but she would do glue as well. And by doing glue on top of her tape, she could make it repositionable. So she always used both glue and the double-sided tape. She was a magician with that tape. Like, she would zip around it so fast. I learned a lot from her. I'm not sure what's going on with her. I looked out not long ago to see if she was still creating content, and I hadn't seen anything. So now we're going to go ahead and place our acetate on here. Okay. Just like that. No ooze and glue, no problem. Okay. So there's our window. So now we're going to work on the pockets. So we're going to use this as a template, as I mentioned. We can put this dangerous thing away. If I can find the cap. I just think they're so easy to really hurt yourself with. I don't like them. Okay, get rid of some of this stuff. Okay. So here's our paper. So we're going to we have to go this direction because of width. Okay. So I'm going to try to cut. I think I'm going to bring the big cutter in because I want to cut all three of these at the same time. So I'm going to just get them all together here, and then I'm going to line this up so I can get my line off the side here, because you want this to be pretty precise. Again, if it's not like the end of the world. Nobody's going to cry or throw a temper tantrum or anything, but it does make it look really cool. Okay, so got the big mama here. Big mama. So Evie had suggested I don't unfold it, but then it brings it up like this. It's so close to my camera is like, from my hand, my camera is only about 12 inches, maybe 15 inches from here. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that in there and just snip that off. Yeah. Okay, we probably won't need that one anymore. So now we're going to just take each of these and we're going to fold them. I don't want to waste though, so I think we'll score them. Well, I don't know. Yeah, we're just going to fold them. We're just going to fold them. Just fold it in half. Okay. You could do this with book pages, would be fun, and you could just have a digital or a prettier paper on your front with your window. So this would be a great way to use your book pages as well, which I plan on doing some stuff with book pages in the near future because I never use my book pages, and I have so many books. Not like other crazy people, but I do have my own fair share. But I don't use them, so we're going to be playing around with some book pages. Okay, there we go. So we've got 3 of those, and so again, we know that they're the right width because oh shoot, I just did that again. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Look at that. Ugh. What were you thinking? Why didn't you tell me, people? It needed to go the other way. I don't know if it would have worked the other way. Because, yeah, it wouldn't have worked because that's 9 inches. So it wouldn't have worked. You'd have to make this narrower in order for that to work. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Because when you take it, it could be an insert. Yeah, bummed about that. Why didn't you tell me? Just kidding. Just kidding. You probably saw it and you're like, Cara-Renee, you just did it again. Okay, so now we're going to cut these down by cutting on the open side. Make sure you don't cut on the fold. And cut them down to 4.5 inches. So I guess I do need the big trimmer just to keep this a little bit more concise. So I'm just bringing that big one back. And I'm just making sure that that edge stays nice and secure. Okay. And then we're going to do 4.5. Okay. Man, I can't believe I did that. Ugh. So frustrating. Okay. So, before we go any further though, I am going to pause and I'm going to ink, but I'm debating. I'm thinking I might want some thumb notches for our pockets. What do you think? Do you think this would look good with thumb notches? I don't know. No, I don't think so. You could do thumb notches, but they're obviously pockets. There's no illusion there. So I think we won't do that. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to ink all these. It does take a bit of time because I want to ink around all these edges front and back, and then again on the inside, top and bottom, or top edges. So I'll be right back. Okay. Easy peasy. So I did, now all these aren't going to show, but just to give a little bit of a difference, like here. So when you look, when you see what you can see on the sides of these, see how they're different? So this one's different than this one, and then that one's the same as the first one. So I want to do that. It just creates a little bit of interest. And you could just do that by flipping that over. Okay, so we're just going to do that. Easy as pie. Make sure your openings are all up. So just flip through here, make sure that they're all up. Your folds are down. Okay, so now we need to glue things shut. So let's start with this. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the sides of all of these pieces. So we're going to be just putting a bead of glue here and here on all 4 of these. Okay, last one. So this is not, this is not like super unique. The unique element of it that I find is the window. And I really want to give it a try. I was thinking about trying to use some junk mail envelopes and maybe covering them with some napkin or something so that what you can do, instead of having to figure out how to cut this out, you can actually just glue on your tissue paper or your napkin, and then you just water cut the window out. So I thought that would be a great way to use some of those envelopes. So I might come back and do that in the future. Just occurred to me that that might be a way to do that. That's a little bit easier. So then the next thing that I did is I glued all 3 of these together. And basically what you're going to do is we're just going to put some glue, probably about, I would say, and 1/2 of an inch wide. So what I tried to do is I did find the middle of these. So I'm just going to stagger them here a little bit. And does the bottom show? Does the bottom show? No, not really. I guess it does. I need to ink this one because I didn't ink that one on the bottom and it's standing out. There we go. Okay, so find the middle. So I'm staggering them so I can mark them. And I'm just going to use my zero gravity ruler because then I don't have to keep moving the piece. And that's what I mentioned before. You could use the zero gravity ruler. You don't have to have the zero gravity ruler, is what I call it. So I'm just lining it up there. And then I'm just going to make a pencil mark here, here, and here, just so I know about where I'm going. Okay, so now I'm going to just slide those out of the way, and I'm going to put a bead of glue. Wait a minute. Yeah, doesn't matter. I am going to use my white glue, so I'm just going to start with that where that mark is and just go up, and then just go a little bit crazy on the sides. Okay, nothing difficult, but do make sure that your tops remains your top. Okay, So that's good. And then you do get a little bit of room with this wiggle room with the white glue, but you do have to move fairly quickly. So I just like pick it up, tap it down, and then make sure everything looks decent, and then just give that a press in the middle. Okay. Oops, it moved. What? How did that move? Okay, well, shoot. I wonder if we can, yeah, we can still move it. What did I do? Let's just do it again. I don't want those tops to be uneven, so I'm gonna be a little bit more persnickety in this case. Okay, again, every time you make a decision, make sure that your top is your top, okay? And then we're just gonna try that again. I don't know, I must have hit it one too many times. And it did not stay where I wanted it to stay. Okay. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Give it a good press there in the middle. And then we're going to do the same here. So I want to tell you guys, my husband has decided to retire early. He'll be 63 in September, but his job is extremely stressful, and it's impacting him in terms of his mental state. And he's only been at this company for it'll be 6 years. His prior job, he worked there for 36 years. So he is decided to retire early. So it's got me thinking about whether or not I'd like to try to sell my work again, because, you know, finances are going to change when that happens. So that won't be till October, but life will change. So look at that. Ah, so cool. Be careful not to do that too early though, because you can wreck your project. But anyway, I'm thinking about starting to sell my work, sell my journals, and so I'm going to be looking into that and figuring out if that's something that I really want to do. So here I'm going to find the center of this one too. I'm just going to go on the back here and make my mark. But I'm going to be doing my my Beloved Beauty Monthly here in the next couple of days. You'll probably see it actually before this video, but then you'll already know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to catch up, so I'll probably talk about that a little bit in terms of my goals and some things. So let's see, make sure again that everything is going the right direction. And if your front one matters to you, make sure that that's going the right direction as well. I like this one. So then again, I'm going to turn this over, make sure my top is my top, and then place that down. Okay. And then just pick it up if you need to. You could use Fabri-Tac, but Fabri-Tac takes longer to dry. So there we go. Look at that. I really want to try one rounding the edges, and I think it would be doable, so I might try that off camera. But look at that. So amazing. I just love it. And these would be great if you did one in the front of your journal and one in the back of your journal. You just probably want to reverse the direction so that your accordion, your openings are on, well, I guess it wouldn't really matter if they're on the, you know, inside or outside, but you could also put a closure on here. So maybe I'll do that in the prototype too. Maybe I'll put a magnetic closure so that you could just have something that clipped here to hold it closed. You'd have to have it have a little bit of a gusset so that it doesn't, things don't, you don't restrict your bulk in it. So now I'm going to grab my basket of stuff so we can find something to put in the window. So give me a sec here. Oh, here's all the papers. I'm not liking using these plastic sleeves, so I did order some letter size. I think they're letter size plastic bins that they're about 1.5 inches deep, And then, you know, because this is cumbersome to me. So, because I have to pull everything out to look at it and whatnot. So I know I'm griping, aren't I? But I'm looking for a bigger image to put in that window. So let me just flip through here and see what I can find. So bummed that those trees are going the wrong direction though. So much stuff in here, it's ridiculous. So much stuff. So, oh, look at that one. Wonder if we could make her work. So that's not going to work. So I need to pull out the little bins and see if I can find a print that's big enough. Otherwise we might not be able to do this together. I did not plan that very well. My apologies. But I do have some bigger ephemera pieces in these bins, so I don't know if we'll have something big enough. What were these ones? Yeah, those are all the blue tones, so I don't necessarily want to go that route. Okay. There's that beautiful image again. But see how small it is? Which it doesn't matter, like it could still slide in here. We could actually put it on a base. So we've got a little bit of stickage there. There we go. But let's just see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Okay, that's a possibility. I just don't know that I have anything super big in here that would fill that space any better. We have a couple choices. We could use this girl, which would be okay. It's still the same tones. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut off this white edge just to start. So I can get an idea if it's going to work. That's terrible. I always shortcut things and then I mess it up. Okay, I'm just going to start there. The other thing that complicates things sometimes is where your images that you want to have shining through is where it is in the design. So see how it's going to be about the same as this when we're done. So I might put this one behind it and just have two things in this pocket. So if we stick this in here, fat fingers, goodness gracious. Okay, I'll just go ahead and slide that in there. Actually, that doesn't look bad at all. I actually kind of like her sticking up like that. So, with her head kind of up in a vanishing way. So I'm going to pull that back out. I'm going to trim just a bit more off the bottom here so it's not so tight. Okay, try that again. So much for a short video. It'll still be pretty short comparatively. So yeah, I think I like that. It needs to be trimmed a little bit more, but look at that. Oh, she is gorgeous. So bummed about the trees though. Oh my gosh, so bummed. So yeah, that's what we did. So I will embellish this a little bit and I'll make another one for the reference journal and I'll round the corners and see what I think about that. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting experiment. I'll put probably a whale tail punch on here and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.